Chapter 24. Secret Egypt. The great mysteries of Gnosis existed there in ancient Egypt, in the sunny land of Chem. Then, whoever entered the initiatic colleges, after having been submitted to the most difficult trials, received the terrible secret of the great arcanum, the key of sexual magic, by word of mouth. Everyone who received this secret had to take an oath of silence. Whoever swore and then violated his oath was taken to a rocky paved courtyard of death. There, before a wall covered with strange hieroglyphs, he was inevitably put to death. His head was cut off, his heart was torn out, his body was burned, and his ashes were thrown to the four winds. In fact, everyone who received the great arcanum during the sacred ceremony immediately went to work with the Vestal of the temple. There were many Vestals prepared to work in the great work with the celibate initiates. The married initiates practiced in their homes with their priestess wives. The Vestals were duly prepared for the priesthood of love. They had great female masters who prepared them, and they were submitted to great ordeals and penances. Actually, they were the sacred prostitutes about which many authors speak. Today, it would be impossible to have Vestals of this type in the Lamigials. The world has become so corrupted that the result would be to further corrupt that which is already corrupted. We would, in fact, become abject accomplices to the crime. All those celibate initiates who have shown in the history of the centuries practiced sexual magic within the pyramids with such Vestals. Jesus also had to practice sexual magic in the pyramid of Khephren. There he recapitulated all his initiations. Many will be shocked by our statement. We cannot criticize these Puritans. Really, it was the Catholic priesthood that dehumanized Jesus. Unfortunately, this has been so well ingrained into people's minds that even occultists continue with the false idea of a castrated, mutilated Jesus. The reality is that Jesus was a complete man in the fullest sense of the word, fully a man. In occult masonry of the ancient pharaonic Egypt, there were three basic degrees: apprentice, journeyman, and master. These three degrees are related with the ethereal forces that flow through and around the spinal column of each human being. Madame Blavatsky refers to them in The Secret Doctrine as follows: the Trans-Himalayan school locates Sushumna, the chief seat of these three nadis, in the central tube of the spinal cord, and Ida and Pingala, the two witnesses of the apocalypse, on its left and right sides. Ida and Pingala are simply the sharp and flats of that fa of human nature, which, when struck in a proper way, awakens the sentries on either side, the spiritual manas and the physical kama, and subdues the lower through the higher. It is the pure akasha that passes up Sushumna, the medullary canal. Its two aspects flow in Ida and Pingala, the pair of sympathetic cords that entwine the spinal medulla. These are the three vital airs, and are symbolized by the Brahmanical thread. They are ruled by the will. Will and desire are the higher and lower aspects of one and the same thing. Hence the importance of the purity of the canals. From Sushumna, Ida, and Pingala, a circulation is set up, and from the central canal, passes into the whole body. Ida and Pingala play along the curved wall of the cord in which is Sushumna, the medullary canal. They are semi-material, positive and negative, sun and moon, and start into action the free and spiritual, igneous, current of Sushumna. They have distinct paths of their own, otherwise, they would radiate all over the body. In that ancient elemental Egypt, which grew and matured under the protective wings of the elemental sphinx of nature, the ceremony of initiation was something terribly divine. When the venerable master wielded the sword in the act of admission, the canals of Ida and Pingala, the two witnesses, and the canal of Sushumna, along with the forces that circulated through them, received a tremendous stimulus. In the first degree, this stimulus only affected the feminine lunar current of Ida, in the second degree, Pingala, the masculine current, and in the third, the igneous current of Kundalini, which flows ardently through the medullary canal of Sushumna, received the stimulus. With this third degree, the Kundalini was awakened. We want to clarify that these three stimuli were related with the work of sexual magic the initiate performed with the Vestal of the temple. That stimulus would be useless if the candidate was a fornicator. This is for people who are practicing sexual magic intensely. Ida rises from the base of the spinal column to the left of Sushumna, and Pingala to the right. These positions are reversed in women. The cords end in the medulla oblongata. All this is symbolized by the caduceus of Mercury with its two spread wings. The two wings of the caduceus of Mercury signify the power to travel in the astral body, the power to travel in the mental body, the power to travel in the causal, conscious, and spiritual vehicles. The fire grants those who follow the path of the razor's edge the power to leave the physical body at will. Kundalini has the power of awakening the human being's consciousness. With the fire, we remain completely awakened in the superior worlds. All those who have awakened in the superior worlds live absolutely conscious outside of the physical body during the hours of sleep. Whoever awakens the consciousness can never again dream. They become, in fact and rightfully, absolutely conscious citizens of the superior worlds. They work with the White Lodge while their physical body sleeps. They are the collaborators of the great white universal fraternity. We clarify Ida and Pingala are not physical. No physician would find them with a scalpel. Ida and Pingala are semi-ethereal, semi-physical. The great mysteries of ancient Egypt, as well as the mysteries of Mexico, Yucatan, Eleusis, Jerusalem, Mithra, Samothrace, etc., are all intimately related, and are in fact absolutely sexual. Ask, and it shall be given you, knock, and it shall be opened unto you. The great initiates always answer. The guardians of the elemental sphinx of nature always respond. Everyone who practices sexual magic must ask for the fire. Beg the guardians of the sphinx, invoke the god Agni. This god can restore the igneous power in each of the 7 bodies. There are 5 great initiations of the sacred fire. The first means the departure of the one who has already entered the current leading to nirvana. The 5th means the entry into the temple erected on the summit of the mountain. With the first, we leave the well-trodden path. With the 5th, we enter the secret temple.